All right, y'all, for today's mini Devo, we're going to continue armor of God / the armor of the Christian. On verse 15, yes, Ephesians 6:15, it says, having shod your feet with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Did you notice that there is not even a mention of shoes, any kind of footwear? Well, is it a sandal? Is it a boot? Is it a shoe, running shoe? What is it? There's no mention of a specific shoe per se. However, the context obviously points to the kind of footwear or gear that the soldiers, Roman soldiers, may have worn at the time when Paul was sharing this imagery. Most readers will think of two things when they come across this thought of having shod your feet with the preparation of the gospel of peace. But before we get there, let me ask you something. How far can you get without shoes, without footwear? How much can you do without shoes, without footwear? Hence, in battle, in altercation, in conflict, in a war scenario, you want to have not only some kind of footwear, but since your life is at stake, you want to have the right footwear. The two main ideas that most people may come across or think of when they look at this passage, specifically having shod your feet with the preparation of the gospel of peace. What could that mean? Some people think that Paul may have been thinking back again to prophet Isaiah chapter 52, verse 7, his book. How beautiful upon the mountains are the feet of him or her who brings good news, who proclaims peace, who brings glad tidings of good things, who proclaims salvation, who says to Zion, your God reigns. And that, or part of that, is quoted again in the New Testament in Romans 10:15. So some people think Paul may have been thinking of that. However, scholars tell us that the idea that Paul conveys, especially because there's a context here, stand firm. Stand firm. So the idea of Isaiah 52 verse 7 and Romans 10:15 doesn't quite match perfectly, some scholars say, because the idea of taking the gospel of peace to someone is different to what Paul may have been trying to say specifically in this passage. What's the other idea? Number two. The other idea that scholars think Paul may have been pointing to is the peace that the gospel brings to your life in the midst of conflict, battle, war scenario, altercation, assault. In other words, it is thought to be a beautiful and powerful and very encouraging thing to have someone remain in peace in spite of very challenging and trying circumstances around you. And that's pretty much what some scholars say this may be pointing to. Not so much that you're taking the gospel of peace to someone, which is something we need to do, but in this case, stand firm. You are about to be attacked. You're in conflict. You're in a war scenario, in battle, in combat. So it is a beautiful and powerful thing to remain in peace in the midst of such environment. And only God can give you that peace. We'll continue to